Hey, this is Sid with Table Talk with Sid, a life memo. I really am looking for opportunity just to vent this, to talk about this. This thing of the ability to overcome, the ability to make changes, as we've spoken about before. And it's on the terms of addiction. Once again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I have been doing this and working with individuals within addiction, from drugs to overeating to alcohol, for 20 some odd years. So as I've been doing this, my platform and my forum and what I do and how I do participate within that arena is to help people to understand that addiction is addiction. And yes, it travels with you throughout your entire life. However, addiction does not need to own you. It does not need to be the thing that takes you down. And it does not need to be this thing that continues to make an individual a victim. So, in these 20 years plus of doing this, what I do, and I've been able to be quite successful in those 20 years, is help people to see that they do have control. There's mindset is involved. Point of view is involved. The beliefs, the negativity, the thoughts that roll around, that you allow to roll around in your head. The soul has to get to a point. If we're going to talk about addiction in particular, the soul has to get to a point where it emotionally has made that emotional and spiritual decision that that person wants and will do different. Those choices cannot be made during the downfall. So it's like being in an airplane. You cannot decide that you want to know what you will do and how you will behave and the choices you'll make when the plane is going down. Those thoughts, those plans, those ideas have to be thought even well before you ever got to the airport. It has to be worked on within your thoughts and in your ideas of what flying means long before you ever take the flight. And it's not to live in fear, it's not to prepare for downfall, but it is to know what steps you will take should the incident occur. And that is the same with an addiction. You cannot wait until downfall happens, when everything starts rolling down the toilet and choices have been made to use alcohol or drugs or whatever it is to soothe, to try to communicate with someone in regards to that, or to try to get someone for themselves or for their surroundings and the people that they're with to understand that. Individuals who have issues in this area, the steps have to be taken long before. Now, part of the hiccup, I was just speaking to a dear friend who is dealing with an adult son who continues to go down the toilet as soon as he is triggered with his drinking. And I will agree with her, the mother, 100%. Yes, addiction is a disease. I will agree with that wholeheartedly. However, addiction does not have to be a terminal cancer that ends your life. And in order for that addiction to be dealt with, to be overcome, to be managed, to be something that, yes, is in a person's life, but is not the thing that is making the choices or running that life. First of all, the individual has to come to a point where they stop looking for the easy out. So her son has this tendency, he'll go to some AA meetings, but he doesn't go to all of them. He gets a sponsor, but he doesn't use the sponsor for what the sponsor's there for. So when you do things, regardless if you're working to become a surgeon, regardless if you're working to overcome addiction, it doesn't matter what that is. If you only do the needed steps halfway, it is a guarantee that you will never be 100% successful in the thing you are attempting to overcome or to achieve. If an individual goes to college, let's say, and he or she wants to be a brain surgeon, but only goes to half of the classes, I will guarantee you're not becoming a brain surgeon. You're not becoming a brain surgeon. You're probably not becoming anything within the medical industry. So an individual that has an addiction, this friend of mine, and I understand she's very, very frustrated right now. She's pushed to her wit's end because she's been dealing with this with her son for years. He's a grown adult in the middle of his life, and I see that she's attempting to find understanding and she's attempting to find patience. However, take me with a grain of salt. In having understanding and having patience for an individual, it does not mean that you hand them the license to say, well, you have an addiction to alcohol, which is a disease. Therefore, that disease will travel with you the rest of your life. It owns you. And so, okay, I'm just going to get used to the fact that when things trigger you, you simply don't have the life tools to deal with that. So drinking's going to be the answer. And that's just part of your life. And it's part of what makes you a victim. And that's why your life isn't an easy life. Well, that's not support. That's enabling. Every person on the face of the earth has potential to be whomever and whatever they choose to be. Every person on the face of the earth has challenges. Yes, some have more challenges than others. However, if you look at the mindset, the outlook, and the individual who is looking at the situation, if you choose to find downfall, if you choose to find all the things you're unhappy with, all the things that make you frustrated, all the things that you think are unfair, you will find, if, let's just say we're talking about a person with addiction, you will find that addiction will never leave you because addiction is attached to negativity. Negativity are the thoughts of what you don't want, what you can't have, what is not working, what you're angry about, what is unfair to you. You want to detach yourself from addiction? This has to be practiced when you're sober. It has to be practiced when you have your feet on the ground. You have to have a game plan. You must be going to AA. You must be working with your sponsors because when you get that trigger, that phone call, that going to that AA meeting is the very first step of part of your game plan. No football team goes out on a field without a game plan. No sport, no soccer team, no anyone that's successful does anything without a game plan. So, if one has an addiction, you must gain a game plan when you're pulled together, when you are sober, when your feet are on the ground. for those individuals who are within their life, when you are in the life of someone who is addicted to something, you cannot teach a lesson, probe, inspire, motivate when the person is in the middle of the downfall. It has to be done when everyone's sober with their feet on the ground. Also, as a reminder, enabling that person to believe that they have this disease that cannot be overcome, that cannot be managed, and that you can't do anything about it. And so when you get triggered, this is what you're going to decide to do. That's just how it is. And look at, you're a victim. That is not helping that individual to become the person they are meant to be. And I will agree 100%. That journey is going to be a challenge. That journey is a journey that's going to push you uphill, and you're going to have to climb, and you're going to have to climb, and you're going to have to climb. But as long as an individual who has an addiction even has an inch that they feel can be an easy out, you better believe that soul will lean on that little inch, will look for that little inch, because change is extremely difficult. Change only happens with change, and I can say it until I'm blue in the face. Change only happens with change, and in order for change to happen, habits, beliefs, the things you do, the point of view that you have, the viewpoint on life, the things that roll around in your head, the things that leak from your lips, all of these things have to change. The people you circle with, the shows you watch, the way you think while you're driving in the car. This is how come very few people really make change. So in this discussion, and the reason I wanted to have it is because I want individuals to know who are challenged and struggling with an addiction. And I want those people, those loved ones, the family members who are circling and within the life of someone who has an addiction, I want you to hear you can manage it. Yes, it will be in your life the rest of your life, but you do have the ability to find the life tools, the life skills, the support system that you will need so that you are not owned by your addiction any longer. And that life does not need to be the way it is right now. However, no one but you can make that change. Your mother can't, your wife can't, your husband, your dad, your children, your friends. Nobody can make the change but you. And that does start first with what thoughts you allow to take place and to sit and wander around in your brain. That's the first thing. You have to take ownership and take control of what thoughts you're going to allow into your soul. Those thoughts are either going to propel you to a place where you have hope, support, inspiration, or those thoughts will trickle off your tongue and become words. And once they become words, your soul has taken some kind of ownership in that, good, bad, or otherwise, and they will own you. And addiction is 100% attached to negativity. Remember, in your day, you will fall down. Stand up, brush off, and move on. Talk to you.